From Arizona to Washington and all the way to Georgia, welcome back to the Coast to Coast Catch Up. My name is Cannon Griner, along with my co host Abe Elmore. We're just two childhood friends who grew up together, chased sports dreams, and now have big boy jobs on the opposite sides of the country. We created this podcast to catch up, unpack real life, and share the ride with you. From deep conversations to lessons we're still learning, laughs to life pivots is the kind of catch up everyone needs. Let's get into it. Well, Abe and I created this podcast to not only catch up among the two of us, but to also catch up with others. And today we're excited to have a very special guest. This man has played professional football, traveled the world, cooked the best chicken breast this world has seen, is a world-class entertainer, and on top of that, a person I'm honored to call a friend, Kason Martin. Kason, welcome to the Coast to Coast Catch Up.
Gosh, that was so good. I'm just inspired, man. What a phenomenal intro, and it is great to be here, gentlemen. I've actually never been on a podcast before, but I've edited a ton of them. I'll go into more about myself later, but I do edit videos, and I've edited a lot of podcasts. But that was by far the greatest intro I've ever seen in my life. So we're off to a great start. Off to a great start. So yeah,
Thank you.
what are y'all up to today?
Man, so much stuff. It's pretty rainy here in Arizona. So to wake up and like hear it pouring out rain is pretty sick. Something about rain in the desert's just a little bit, it's pretty cool. It's not supposed to happen, so I think it's cool. And I know Candace said in the intro that, we have big boy jobs. I currently don't have a big boy job. So I've been doing a lot of job applications since moving. Had a job interview today. So yeah, that's been my day. But man, I'm pretty pumped about now. And Casey, we've met once before. That night's kind of a blur, so I'm excited to hear more about you because Ken does talk a lot of good things about you. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
excited to get you on. Like Abe said, I guess we have to change the intro. He's also not in Georgia anymore. So a lot has changed since we started, but it's also kind of why we're doing this is just to catch up and
Nice.
continue to see where we're at, where our friends are at, what's going on in each other's lives. And yeah, super excited to have you on.
Yeah, I
So
redact my previous statement about a good intro. That intro sucks. It's not accurate at all. No, I'm kidding.
But
Yeah.
Casey, for the people that don't, I can't imagine that a ton of Cannon's friends or even my friends would know you. Can you kind of give like a little intro about yourself and, from basically like an interview today? Hey, tell me about yourself, man. What should I know?
Good. All right. So yeah, I guess I will start at the beginning. I was born a baby. No, that's what was that, Megamind who said that? No, but so yeah, man, I grew up south of Houston, Texas, in a little town called Manville. Not so little anymore. It's been growing, but my dad was a high school football coach. So growing up, my dream was always just to play football for my dad and start at quarterback for the Manville Mavericks. And I was blessed, man. I had a really cool childhood and played a lot of ball. And then once I got to high school, I ended up starting my junior year. I was my freshman and sophomore year. I was actually behind two absolute studs. There was one guy went to Florida, and now he's a backup for the Buccaneers, and then the other guy went to Miami, and they were both like in like the Heisman race in college. So since I had some big shoes to fill and did okay. Had a pretty good high school career. Played for a state championship. Lost just barely, but man, it was a close one. And then yeah, so from high school, I guess I went to college. Got a full ride. Went to North Texas to play football. And sat the bench for a solid 4 years. So that was exciting. Had a couple good moments through a touchdown pass. There's a fun fact about me. I'm probably the only quarterback in history to have my two bowl games that I played in. My first pass was a touchdown, and one of them was my only pass. So I am the only quarterback on the planet to go 100% touchdown percentage on their first throw of bowl games. So and if anyone wants to correct me, try. But yeah, the and those are some fun stories too. But if we have time, we can tap into those stories. But then yeah, from North Texas, like I said, sat the bench and then ended up going to a Division II, hit the transfer portal ended up in New Mexico for a season, and then my coach left. They were going to bring in a new guy. He was going to run the triple option. I was like, I got to get out of here, man. So, because I'm not a triple option guy. And then I went to a school in Ohio after that, and had a really good season. And that's whenever I got the opportunity to go play overseas, and that's whenever I met my brother Cannon. So yeah, we both ended up in Innsbruck, Austria together, and our both of our significant others, my wife and Alyssa, Cannon's woman, we were all vibing out together, having a great time. And yeah, we just made a bunch of memories. I'm getting kind of hot. Let me take my hoodie off real quick. Man, it was just a really great time out there. And yeah, let me just I went to put that on, and my wife was like, "You're an idiot. Like, why are you doing that? It's supposed to be a serious thing." I'm like, "Nah, I have to." So yeah, fun fact about this jersey: this is actually not mine. At the end of the year party, whenever they were selling the jerseys or giving them away or whatever, I wore number 12 for a moment on the team, and we could probably get into this later about this actual story. I'm also taking this off because it's pretty hot, but I wore number 12 in my one game that I got to play for the upper team, and I'm sure Cannon has told his history, and everyone knows. You don't know this yet? This is crazy.
Not yet.
We can
Go on to
get into
yours.
this today. we can get into this today though. But I wore number 12, and then Cannon got pulled up to that top team too, and I got cut. He wore number 12, and or vice versa. We never played at the same time. Yeah, that's how it happened. But we never played on the top team at the same time. And he was number 12 more recently than I was. So at the end of the year banquet, he got both number 12s. And then the jersey guy was like, we could give you number 17 because that's what you wore on the other team. I was like, sure. But now I've got some other guy's last name in the back. Anyways, but yeah. So wanted to throw a little shout out to the Quijoleras. I'm using my back camera, so it's backwards, but whatever. Anyways, that's a little rundown on my football career. And then from Austria, I'm now in Denison, Texas. And I picked up a job doing video editing stuff. So video editing, videography, and yeah, just work from home most of the time. Sometimes I'll go into the studio and film some stuff, have some other contracts. Filmed a moving company down in South Lake, which is like a really nice part of Texas. That was pretty cool last week or a couple weeks ago. Anyways, yeah, that's oh, and I got a baby on the way. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, so that's pretty
Congrats.
Cool. Thank you.
The first look at Barb, hey, make sure you say this.
Yes, like, exactly. Oh, yeah, I look over here.
Right.
She's like, I'm pregnant. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on, man. That's big life rundown, and yeah, I was really ready to get out of that hoodie jersey situation. It was getting a little, and my shoulders were like real big. I joined him like Cannon probably thinks I put on like 30 pounds, man.
I thought you'd been going to the gym, but no. You know me. Facts, bro. You wouldn't go stretch? That's what I was asking. Got on the bike and did real good, bro. He's like, yeah, sure.
That's so good. What a perfect introduction. So I know I talked to Cannon about this a lot when he was going through the process, but how did you hear about playing in Europe? Because I feel like not a lot of people know about it. It's almost kind of like I don't want to say taboo, but like it's almost like kind of like a secret society. Like, dude, you know that you can go play overseas? Like,
yeah.
Like what? What do you mean? So like, how did you hear about that? Is it super normal, or is it really hard to get into and to even hear about?
Yeah, so mine was pretty funny. So I was, like I said, I was in Ohio at this point, had a great season, and it was on the back end of that season, and I never get on Instagram. And my wife, Barbara, she's on my Instagram, you know, checking in on all my DMs and stuff. Not being like nosy or nothing, but just like she catches up for me because I never look at my stuff. And so she gets on there and she's like, "You've got some message request from somebody in Australia." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, some football team in Australia." I'm like, that's cool. She's like, Australia's so far. Like, I don't know if I want to live there. I'm like, but that'd be cool. I can keep playing. It's my senior year. You know how it is whenever you're playing ball. You just like never want to stop. If you love ball, I don't know. Some people don't. But so I get on there and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, looks kind of cool. So I Google Innsbruck, Australia, and nothing pops up. And then there's a correction, like the little blue, like, did you mean Innsbruck, Austria? And I was like, what? And I looked back at my phone, and of course it says Austria, but the American mind can't comprehend anything besides Australia. So our minds both read Australia every time they read Austria. So then, yeah, all I have to say, the guy reached out to me on Instagram DMs, and that's how I heard of Innsbruck and the Raiders. And then once I realized that's kind of what I wanted to pursue, I reached out to a guy that was playing linebacker for Paris. He was one of my coach's players in the past, and he got me his info. I talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll put in a good word for you." Got me on. There's a website called Euro Players. If anyone out there is trying to go play overseas, they pretty much will take anybody. So at like the lower division levels, there's like I have teams still reaching out about going to play in Hungary or something. But yeah, so Euro Players was where I got a lot of more connections from other coaches and stuff. But at the end of the day, I liked Innsbruck the most, and the fact that he found me, reached out to me, kind of just showed me that he believed in me and trusted me, and it wasn't just because I was just some other guy. And I've always been super loyal whenever it comes to like recruiting and like in my college career and stuff. Like pretty much the first team that would offer me, I'm like, sick, I'm going. Because they believe in you first. It's kind of like a job offer. It's like they believe in you, so why, like they don't have bad intentions, that they don't want you just because someone else does. They want you because they want you. So yeah, that's how I ended up in Innsbruck, and that's the way that it happened was Instagram DMs. So check your DMs, people. You never know who wants
Yeah.
you. You might go to
When
Australia.
when I committed to the Raiders, they told me, yeah, we have a quarterback already. Reach out to him. This is his link and whatever. And so I reached out to Kason, and I think it took probably a month or two before he responded back. And I was like, wow, this dude, like, Kason's a pretty popular guy. He has a decent amount of followers. I'm some D3 kid. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to some D1 kid who's, I'm a nobody. Like, reach out, leaves me on red, and so that was my first impression of Kason, and that couldn't have been more opposite of the person he is and what what his morals are and everything. He just doesn't check Instagram,
Yeah.
which was nice. What was your first impression of the other American that came over that was definitely more quiet than yourself?
Yeah.
Didn't have the same background of the D1. What do you think of me?
I honestly I didn't know. First of all, I thought you were gonna be like 6'5" for some reason. Like you've got a really tall face. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I whenever I first saw you, I was I didn't have much impressions going in. I think we got on the phone like one time together with Coach Bauer on like a Zoom call or something, and we were on it together. And you're just super chill. And I was like, oh, he's just super chill guy. And then whenever I met you in person, I thought you didn't like me. I just thought you were real quiet. I just thought like, man, this guy doesn't like me. He's probably not gonna be friends. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just we didn't necessarily hit it off from the beginning. Also, I thought that I was talking too much. Like I told Barb, I'm like, I probably really wore that guy out today, man. I was just running my mouth and probably didn't even give you a second to give you a chance. You probably opened your mouth and I would say, shh.
I think
No,
that did happen once or twice, but
yeah,
no,
but
I'm just
that
kidding.
was later on. uh,
That's
yeah,
so good. No, it's so interesting hearing because I've known Ken since like second grade, first grade. So like it's so funny hearing people's like first impressions of Cannon, and it's like it's typically like, oh, he's pretty quiet, and it's like, oh, dude, he's so talkative now compared to years ago growing up. So I'm so glad that you case is still like, oh man, he was pretty quiet, like probably talked his ear off, like this dude probably doesn't like me, like like so you have all those thoughts going through your head, and Ken's just like, yeah, what's up? I love ball. Like, I'm just here to ball. Like,
yeah,
nice to meet
exactly.
you. I'm just chill. So That's so cool. So what were your kind of first, so other than, the stereotypical American answer of like, oh, like Australia, it's like kind of the same thing. What were your impressions of Austria, trying to put yourself back in the place of being there for like your first week, like thoughts, impressions, sights, smells, like give it to me. What was Austria like?
So from my past, I'd never been out of the country except for to Mexico, and that's pretty much. I lived in Houston, so we're pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it was total mind blowing shock. Like, first of all, from the moment that we landed in Frankfurt, and then we connected. But whenever I landed in Frankfurt, at that point, we had just flown from the States. We got there and we got off the plane onto the tarmac, and then they like bussed us to the airport. So that was new. But then, like, it was the first time in my life that I was surrounded by other languages besides like Spanish. So it's like I'm in this place, and it suddenly overwhelming hits me that the world is so big. And I know that sounds cliche, but it was just like, I being from Texas, that's my world, man. Like, I went to New York when my dad lived, my mom and dad lived there for a bit. That was, I thought was a culture shock, but it's still America. So it's just like, they exist over there. Texas is still here. But like, actually being in another country and seeing like thousands of people within a moment, in a matter of 5 minutes, I see 1,000 people that are walking this way, that way, that I'll never see again, most likely. They all are speaking a different language, and it was just like, I felt so small. I felt like, man, I am so unbelievably small and insignificant, but in a really cool way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like really neat. And my wife and I were both talking about it, because it was her first time too. And so we get on that plane for the connection to Innsbruck. We're worn out, and it was a miracle that it was like the most beautiful day. 'Cause this is in February. This is like the day after Valentine's Day. It's like February 15th, and it's like the most beautiful. It's like 60 degrees, and or like what would that be for them? I don't know, like 16 degrees Celsius or something. No, that's probably too low. The plane, we got to fly in, which is pretty rare to get to fly into Innsbruck. Most time you have to go to Munich and then take a train. So we're flying in, and I genuinely had never been around any type of mountains that big ever. And I felt like the wings of the plane were going to touch the mountains on the side of us. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and we got lower, and the mountains we were so close to them. Like, I had to really lean into the window and look up to see the top of the mountains while we're still flying down. It was crazy. So we land on this plane, and the same thing, we got off the plane onto the tarmac, and it was like the first time that I seen the Alps, and it was sunny and clear, and it was like the top of all the mountains were frosted with the like freaking, looked like powdered sugar, but thick layer of powdered sugar. I'm looking around like this, like the most awestruck I've ever been in my life of just straight up beauty. And it was that plus the major exhaustion from a long flight. I've never been on any travel day that long ever, besides like I drove a moving truck from Ohio to Houston, but it's dark outside and it's Houston, so it doesn't really, you don't have to add any type of all factor to that. But that was like my first impression, was just, I feel tiny, insignificant in a really, really good and cool, humbling way. And then it was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. These mountains were just unmatched. It was so incredible. And then the rest of that day was kind of a blur, but that was the first time that I met Cannon in person, and we had a meal with like all the coaches, like late that night, or felt late. The sun went down. It was probably like 8 o'clock or so, but I was fighting sleep. I was so tired, and they were all talking about how good the food was. I was like, this is like, it wasn't very good. I was just so tired. Everything just tasted bland. You have that traveler stomach too. Anyways, long answer, but yeah, that was how I felt, first impression.
Now that's perfect. I can only imagine, like, only really seeing like the U.S. and Mexico, and then kind of just like dropping you off and like, hey, go live here for like a serious period of time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like the long travel days, like trying to I'm sure like even in that airport in Frankfurt, you're like, dude, how do I get to the next gate? Like,
Oh yeah, man.
there's so many languages up, obviously English is up on there, but like so many languages around. Like dude, like you're tired, you're fighting sleep, fighting some demons. You're like, I gotta get to the next gate.
Yeah.
And then, so many bags on you. So I get it.
Funny thing about the language thing is like going there, I expected like minimal people to know English. Like I thought it was going to be like how, we know Spanish. It's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? It's like, that's about it. So whenever I first got there, like I'd been on Duolingo trying to learn German. And like the one thing that I had down was, do you speak English? Sprechen Sie English? Sprechen Sie English? I said that to everyone, and they're like, yes. But before that, and I'm like, I was always so excited. I was like, oh, I found another one. Like, this is great. Whenever in reality, they all do. But before that, I'd learned how to like order a coffee, and eine cappuccino bitte. Like that's like one cappuccino, please. And you would start a conversation like that with these guys that are, your waiter, I guess you would say, at these cafes. And then they would just start ripping German to you like real fast. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Sprechen Sie English? And they're like, yeah, of course I speak English. They get all mad at you because you're like wasting their time by trying to speak halfway German. And they're like, just cut to the chase. And we all speak English. But yeah, after I don't know, Cannon, was it similar for you where you thought that, that it was not as common?
I thought it would be a lot less English speakers for sure. And, unlike in Mexico, you go to Mexico and you speak Spanish to them, they're going to go, okay, you look like you speak English. Well, you're in Germany, you're in Austria, you enter with an opening sentence that you've rehearsed and you look like you should know the rest of the language too. Like you fit right in with how they look, and definitely we have some ancestors over there. So
exactly. Oh man, exactly.
I completely get it because I remember it was my first time going to Europe when I came to visit you guys, and I did the Munich, took the train, and it was my first time like on a train basically. And I called Alyssa like the day before. She's like, "Hey, like you get off the plane," because I came in like in the morning, and it was like, "Hey, get on the once you get off the plane, go to this information desk." And it's like 5:30. It's like asked to get to Innsbruck, and it's like great. So they printed me out a ticket. My dumb ass didn't think of like, "Hey, this ticket's fully in German," and I was like, "Oh god!" Like I don't like. I've never been on a train before. I don't know what platforms or any of these numbers mean. Like I'm pretty sure that's time. It's like, all right, get on this one to go to that one. So by the time I got to my connection train, I'm like running, like not running, but I'm like power walking around I think it was Munich's like main station.
Yeah.
And so like someone came up to me and like asking for help, and like they just spoke like 2 sentences in German, and I was like, I don't speak German. And then, like 2 minutes later, it happened to me again, and I'm like, dang it! Like part of it's like, oh, cool, I like German, but the other part's like, no, dude, you're in Germany. Like everybody here speaks German, but they do know English too. So like I remember like asking someone, like, hey, like, am I in the right spot? And they're like, hey, you need to go one more platform over, and you're good to go. And I was like, great, but yeah, like when someone just comes up to you and starts speaking German, you're like, yeah, so sorry. Please.
Exactly. And talking about like directions and phones and stuff, whenever Cannon and I, and when we were first there, neither of us had service on our phones. So we're like scrambling or maybe did you have service, Cannon, or was that?
No, okay, I didn't. No, we were both on that.
Okay, good. I thought I made that up for a second. I was like, let me fact check that. But yeah, so neither of us had service, and we were like, I don't know, man. We were really relying on the public transportation and like making buses and stuff. It's like, luckily we lived in the same place first, so we kind of got to learn that routine. But they moved around. Have you told the podcast yet how many times you've moved? You moved.
I haven't talked about Europe at all.
No really, way. So,
yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
We'll get around to it, but this is kind of the opener for it. So
nice.
Yeah, I talked about some differences in Europe, and that's about it. But haven't really talked about football or any of that. So that's to come.
That's so cool, though. Man, 11 episodes. What have you been talking about? I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
We thought you'd tell the story better than I would, so we thought we'd have you on, and you could tell my story for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I forget that you existed before Europe. I'm like, how do you have that many more stories? It's like I
Right.
only know you from like the first time that Cannon and I saw each other after Europe. He told me, "Welcome to the United States." He was like, but it's like been like a year. It was just a couple months ago, and that was the first time that we'd seen each other in America, which is crazy. We'd known each other for over a year at that point, and had never seen each other stateside, which is freaking crazy. Ah, life, man.
It
That's
is
so cool.
funny
It's
that
such a cool like way that you guys have been connected. Like I've never even like until now. Like obviously I've met Kason. Like I know who you are, but like until now I just kind of put together. It's like these guys know each other from like Austria. Like Kason's from Texas. Like Hannah's from Arizona. Like Hannah's really never been to Texas. Like yeah, obviously has, but like it's not like a place that like we go. And so the
Yeah.
fact that like that you guys are like such good friends doesn't make any sense other than some elaborate story of like, oh yeah, we played football in Austria before, and it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
what?
Exactly. That's crazy, man. It is really, really cool. Just the paths that life take you on and the people that you get to meet, man. It's pretty nuts.
All right, so we'll stay in Europe just a little bit longer. Tell me some of like the highlights of Europe. It could be football, it could be travel related, it could be anything related, but and maybe even especially with Canon, or it cannot be with Canon. I don't care. But like, what were some of your highlights of living in Europe? And honestly, like, what do you miss the most about it?
Great questions. Great questions.
Don't look at Barb. Look at me.
No, I'm
Stay
just
right
there.
here.
She's not there. Don't worry. There's a wall. There's a wall. I just kind of. I think I look cute whenever I look that way. No, I'm kidding. But so I'll start off first with a quick football story, and sadly, this one, uh, Cannon and I were separated for this story, but it was a highlight of my football career over in Europe. So I would love to share this story just so I can have it out there. So it was towards the end of our season. So for those who don't know about the situation over there, Cannon and I went there to play in the Austrian Football League, which is the highest level of football in Austria. And we played all the other biggest teams in Austria and Prague. And they freaking won our Austrian Football League. Dang Czech people or whatever they are. Where is Prague? Is that shit? What are they?
Czech Republic.
Yeah. I was
Speaking like a
did
true American.
did I get that wrong? I
You're,
don't know.
you're not helping our case at all.
Dude, I lean into the stereotypes, man. From Texas, dude, you gotta, we're the only thing that matters, right? No, I'm small. Anyways, so we're at the back end of that season, and there was another kind of league that is over all of Europe. It's the highest level in Europe, and that's the European League of Football. So the European League of Football had a team in our same organization. So we played for the Raiders of the AFL, and then there's the Raiders of the ELF. And the ELF quarterback had a rough start, and they decided to part ways with him. And they pulled me into the office, and Cannon and I both practiced with them, and they had recently had. And I'll let Cannon tell his stories later, but just a little spoiler: he also got to play for the ELF quite a bit, so he can share those stories. But so I was familiar with the old, we're kind of the farm team situation, and I was practicing with them, being their scout team quarterback, basically. And then they bring me into the office, and they're like, "All right, we just cut D'Lo, and we want you to play against the Barcelona Dragons this weekend." And I'm like, "Dude, what? Like, I don't even know the offense. Like, I run the scout team." But I didn't say that. I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's freaking do this, right?" So they pulled me into the general manager's office, and he puts up two pieces of paper in front of me, and his name is Oltz, and he's got a phenomenal accent. He's got a German Midwestern, like Minnesota accent. It's like nothing you've ever heard. So when he talks, it's kind of Minnesota, but then you got the German in there too, and it's just kind of Oltz. His name is Oltz. Anyway, well, so Oltz is like, "Okay, Kason, I need you to sign here. This is your signing papers." So I'm, signing the papers and getting pulled up to the big dogs and going to the big team. He's like, "And then this is gonna be your release papers. You're gonna sign this too." I'm like, Oh, he's like, yeah, we already signed a quarterback, and he's coming the week after you play. So this is just a 1 week deal. I'm like, cool. So I signed the papers. And basically what that did for me, though, is it made me be like, if I play good, I'm cut. If I play bad, I'm cut. I might as well just go have the time of my life and have a great time. So it totally freed me up where I could just go have fun. And I knew that the AFL was waiting on me for the last 2 games or whatever it was. Maybe it was one game after that. Um, so yeah, we go play the Barcelona Dragons, and it was the trip was super fun. Got to fly out there. Barcelona's sick, and I actually got to stay after because I asked the GM like, hey, since I'm getting cut, like, can I stay like an extra 2 or 3 days? And he's like, sure, go ahead, buddy. I'm like, thanks, man. So my wife comes over with me, and we stayed a couple days after. But here's the highlight. Here's the highlight of the of like the whole thing. Go out there to play these guys, and they'd won a game at this point, so they're not terrible. And and I go out there and have a highlight reel. I throw 5 touchdowns. I rush for like 70 yards, which for me, most of my season ends with negative rushing yards. So I'm not a runner. I ran for the triple option. Like I didn't want to do that back in the day. I am not a runner. But yeah, threw 5 touchdowns, threw for close to 400 yards, and rushed for 70. And I basically started the downfall of that organization too, because like they fired everyone, and yeah, then they ended up sucking. So on my resume, it doesn't look like I beat anybody, but at that point, they still had their head coach and their imports, so they weren't a terrible team. And it was the most fun I've probably the most fun game I've ever had in my life. It's like everything I did was just money. I think it was like 89% completion percentage. It was like everything was getting caught, and I would throw a touchdown, they would call it back, and I just throw another one. It's just like, who am I, dude? Am I freaking Tom Brady? Like this is crazy. And so yeah, that's a little story nugget for my little history there of my European League of Football. AFL wasn't so pretty. It was not the most exciting highlight career, but it still was a blast. Yeah, so that's my probably my highlight of my football over there. This will be the last story that I tell about this football stuff. This one's hilarious too. As far as the culture goes with the football of European League of or the European football versus American football, they definitely care about winning. They care about it, but it's not as detrimental to their mental state as it is in the States. If you lose, it's silence. It's devastating. You're going home in silence. No one's going to talk. If you do, you're getting punished. Like the coaches are angry at each other. They're angry at you. Everyone's mourning. You think someone died, man. It's like really quiet. Well, we go play Prague, and this is like, I don't know at what point this was. I think we had like 2 or 3 games left. This is before I got pulled up. But we go to play Prague, and they basically said, "Hey, if we win this game, we're in the playoffs. But if we lose, we are definitely out." So this was our Super Bowl. So we go over there, and this means everything to our team. We get the crap kicked out of us by these guys. It wasn't even close, man. Oh, they talk about everything going wrong, man. I was, I throwing a pick here and there and bouncing off a guy. I finally throw a good ball and the guy tips it and it gets picked. I'm like, come on. Anyways, well, all that to say, after the game, everyone's sad, man. Like on the field, we're sad. A couple guys are crying, hugging each other, like, man, like we fought hard. Let's still finish the season right. The coach is sad. He's so proud of us, though, how hard we fought. And then we get on the bus, and for me, I'm expecting, a 8-hour bus ride back from Prague in silence is gonna suck, man. So we get on the bus, and it's a double-decker bus, and Coach Bauer comes up the little spiral staircase, and he puts his arm on the thing, and he just looks up. He's like, man, the only way to handle this loss is to wash our tears away with beer. And we stopped at the first gas station and bought all the beer they had. And I'm like, I'm not even kidding. We bought every freaking bottle. There was a guy named Wolfie that by himself bought like 60 something bottles or cans of beer. It was unbelievable. And it was like an absolute rager for 8 hours on the way back home. So yeah, if you're thinking about going and playing European football, that's just another sign for you there. Yeah, so there's another story. And then sorry, I'll tap into uh other stuff. Cannon, is there anything that you want to add about like the culture of
No,
Europe or
I'm
anything?
just I'm just sad I missed out on that. That
I
was
know, bro.
both of those memories. So Kason and I overlapped quite a bit, but also um, didn't overlap. We only ended up playing probably 4 or 5 games together
It's crazy.
before he got pulled up, I got pulled up, and all that chaos happened. But definitely stayed with each other through it all, and cheered each other on. And
Yeah, we
funny
did.
enough, when he got pulled up to the Spain game, he didn't mention it, but his sister and sister's husband flew up as well, and so they didn't book a ticket to Spain, so I ended up watching the game with his sister and her husband, and so we're cheering him on and hoping he would. We were trying to look up the ELF records and see if he could break all the records before the end of the game. So we were mad when they started running the ball when they were up whatever it was 100 in the end of the fourth quarter. But yeah, it's super fun to watch them, and it was a great time over in Europe. No, I don't have much to add other than that. The culture is definitely different. I would say the um, people are just more thankful for other players that are there. Like in America, everybody plays football. You have the team, next door that they're your rivals. You hate them with everything in you, and you act like that. Like you don't treat them as people. They're the enemy. You know, you're gonna kill them. And in Europe, it's almost the opposite. Soccer is the main sport. You look at people that play football, and you're just happy to play someone. Uh, at least at the lower levels, that's how I felt at the AFL level. It was just like people are just happy to be playing the sport they like, and they're happy that someone else shares that same value. And so it kind of made me think of sports differently. Just that it is pretty cool that everyone does share that same uh, want to be there. It's just we just view it a different way over here in the U.S.
Yeah, that's a good take on it, man. It's crazy. It's super crazy to see the this even like the woman over there playing flag football and tackle football, and it's not like a sexualized like tackle football. It's like legit. Like these girls are playing full on, fully clothed, fully padded football. It's like I don't know. It's a really cool. The sport over there really did ignite um, even more of a childhood like passion for the game for me. 'Cause I've always loved ball. I love it so much. I can't believe that I'm not playing. It's like it's super weird for me to be just grown and having a regular job and actually get to watch college football. It's weird. It's like forever I've been playing on Saturdays. Super strange to watch my bunch of teams play and stuff. But yeah, man, I forgot to mention that yeah, that was crazy. My sister and my brother-in-law flew in to watch me play at the lower level that weekend, months and months in advance. And I was like, they're flying in. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be gone. And they were like, no way. I'm like, but you can hang out with my friends. So there was a guy named Oliver there too, who's hilarious. He's from Denmark, and yeah, so him and Cannon both got to host them, and still kind of cool. My sister was happy about the whole situation because she was like, it was fun to watch you play while I was in Europe. She wasn't at the game, but she still loved it and stuff. But man, switching gears now into unlimited memories, unlimited stories that I have with Cannon and Alyssa. And it is I can't. It is so hard to put my finger on just one to share, or even two, three, four, five. It's like the more I think about it, the more that flood my mind, man. We were we had the blessing of living so close to easily travelable, like fun places, man. So we lived in the skinnier part of Austria, so it's like Italy's close and Germany's close. All that's close by train. So anytime that we had a chance to go somewhere, we almost felt like we needed to go even further. So we ended up our our first trip was our first trip to Budapest, or was our first trip to Portugal? Which one would be first?
I think it was Portugal. That's a good
Okay,
question though.
that is crazy. I can't remember. But yeah, so Portugal was a freaking blast. So we go down to the Algarve region of Portugal. So it's like south with like the beach and all the pretty cliffs. And my favorite memory from that was we took this like kayak, this like ocean kayak ride. And they basically we like paid this like little this dude and his assistant to put us on a boat. Or we weren't on the boat. There was a boat that they drove, and then there was like, I don't know, probably like 8 kayaks that were behind it, like linked together by like small, like 1 foot little like ropes. And so we're like got this massive train behind this boat of all these kayaks, and they kind of just trolley us out. So we didn't have to paddle. But what they don't tell you about Portugal, and this is in the middle of like June or July, it's like blistering hot outside. It's like the UV was like 11, like the most I'd ever seen. Y'all are from Arizona, so that's like normal. But like I couldn't comprehend that much sun. But the water was freezing cold. Like Cannon and I are freaking fish. Like for those who know Cannon, like we are like I've never met another human that loves to jump in the water as much as I do. All right, so we love the water, and me and him both tapped out of snorkeling like multiple times.
It was miserably cold.
We're like,
It was
bro, this is
so
terrible.
impressive how cold it was.
So cold. Oh man, so but we still made the most of it. But it was hilarious. The kayak ride on the way back. So we like they trolley us out, and then we go kayak into really cool little I don't know what they're called, but it's like where the rock formation. You go into a cave, and then above you is like this massive hole. So it's like I don't know if there's a technical term for that. But it was sick. Canon technical term. Do you know what they're called?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, just
He only knows
ocean
animals.
caves. Do what?
He only knows animals. He doesn't know geography shapes.
Yeah, there you go. Circles. Yeah, but yeah. So we did that. We drove through all these things and saw really neat. Like we pulled up on the beach and just different little like critters and stuff that were in there. Not critters, like fish, crustaceans, I guess they're called. Really neat ones. What was the one that the really tiny ones that are like I think they're edible?
Gooseneck barnacles. Yeah, see, I know
Gooseneck.
animals.
Look at that guy, gooseneck barnacle. So yeah, so that we saw a couple of those and sea cucumbers. Is that what that's called?
We saw some of those, yeah.
Yeah, that
Bunch of
was
crab.
tons of crab, and that triggers another memory that I'll hop into next. But yeah, so the whole funny part of that story is on our way back out with those kayaks behind the boat, the water got really rough, and it was like coming up over the kayaks, and the girls are not fish. They're not like me and Cannon that are like loving the water, jumping in it. And like I said, it's so cold. It was hilarious to listen to them scream and holler the whole time. They get freaking pelted by these waves, just wave after wave, screaming and laughing. Me and Cannon, my stomach hurt from laughing so hard at our girls just getting just freezing cold with this water. But man, it was a blast. You have any memories from that one that sticks out?
Yeah,
That
just
trip or no?
laughing at the end of that was so fun. And I remember looking at you and we both rocked the boat or
Oh yeah,
little canoe and stuff and get the girls to scream. And yeah,
because they were
it was super fun.
two-seaters. That's right.
Yeah,
We didn't have
yeah,
individual kayaks. It was the guys were in the back and the girls were in the front. So those waves were crashing over, and they were like,
eating
like
it.
eating the waves. I was barely getting wet at all, and it was so funny. That's hilarious. That was
That's like a best case scenario as like your partner on a kayak ride, but like you're sitting in back, she's getting like pelted with this cold water, she's screaming, she can't see you laughing, so you don't feel bad for laughing, like you're not getting yelled at, and you're probably doing like the silent laugh where you're trying to like hold it in so she can't hear you, but
man.
at the same time, like it's kind of just basically a free show for your partner to be kind of screaming uncomfortable at this cold water,
Man.
and you're probably just like, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh man, I wasn't quiet at all. I was laughing really hard out loud. Oh man,
That's real good.
Same.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that part of the Portugal story, but Canada did say Portugal. It's hard to choose all of his favorite spots in Portugal and Europe, but Portugal is one of them. Sweden was the next thing that came up. I believe you went on that trip. Can you tell me more about that, Kason?
Oh, dude, we maybe monthly all reminisce about Sweden together. We'll be in a group message and send a picture or memory, and we'll just say, take us back to Sweden, which, like, as far as the beauty goes, doesn't really compete with much other place. Like it was really pretty in its own right. Like it was a really pretty lake. Trees were unbelievable, but just at that point of our friendship, we were at an absolute peak. Like this is at the end of, so we'd all known each other since February, and this is like, I guess this is September ish. And so we've
Yeah.
known each other for the better part of a year at this point, and it was like we were pretty much our only friends for that long. So it's like we hung out all day, every day. We traveled the world together, and now so Sweden, how we ended up there. Um, Barb's aunt, Barb's uncle's cousin lives in Sweden. He is Swedish, and so Barb's uncle and aunt bought a house in Sweden, and I guess their cousin is the one that runs the place. His name is Per. It's spelled like P-E-R, and this guy's a freaking character, man. He's a legend. So he's running the place, and we reach out to, or Barb's aunt reaches out to us and says, "Hey, if y'all want to go to Sweden, y'all can stay there for free as long as you want, unless it's booked because it's Airbnb. Then y'all just have to leave for just a little bit." And we run that by Cannon and Alyssa. And I don't know how much I know about them, but if they hear, stay somewhere for free, we get to that for free. We're like, that sounds awesome. So they were pretty much in, and we were at the same place where this is, like I said, we're the back end of our time in Europe. We're out of money, and we get to go stay somewhere for free. We definitely do it. So we all end up in Sweden together, and then Barb's mom, Barb's aunt, her uncle, the cousin Per, and Per's wife Katrin, and then their kids. This place is huge. It sleeps like 20 people. It used to be an old schoolhouse, and it sits at the front of this lake. And I'll just give you the rundown on everything this thing had. So inside was just really cozy. It was like all wood, and just the place was red, and it was on this plush green grass, kind of perched on a little hill. And inside, the downstairs is all just lounging area. You got two giant like living areas, a huge, massive kitchen, a giant kitchen table that seats like 20 people. So it was all family time all day long. All the rooms are everywhere else, kind of tucked away. And there's a pool table upstairs. And then the best part about the inside, downstairs, there's like this little bar where it's got the vibe of like an actual like dive bar, where there's like a little booth, and there's a dart board and a karaoke bar. And this guy Per was like, I don't know if he has some whatever it was, but he loves karaoke. It's like can't get enough of it. He can't sing worth a lick, and just all day wants to sing karaoke. Wants to sing karaoke, and while we were there, and all those people weren't there the whole time, but while they were there, it was just like inside was always just a party. Like there was boxed wine that was just on tap, and people hear boxed wine, they don't think much of it. That stuff was freaking gas, dude. It was so good. It was like the best wine ever, and it was free, and so I mean, it tastes even better. And they cooked like every meal for us, and it was delicious. We had like reindeer stew one night. We had chanterelle mushrooms, which I'll get into that here in a second, which is just unreal. Outside this place, you had this beautiful porch that we just vibed at every morning. We were all working remote jobs, so you go out there in the morning and work our jobs. And then down to the right, you had a wood-fired sauna. Right outside the sauna is a wood-fired hot tub. So it's like you have to work to get it just right. Put in this wood, have this hot tub, and it smells like a fire out there, but it's like this nice crisp air. It was like 50-ish degrees most of the time. And then down from the house is this beautiful lake, and it's like real dark, but like a really pretty type of dark, not like a gross kind of dark. I think it was from all like the pine needles and stuff that got in there. It turned it like this like darker black color, and there were paddle boards and fishing poles, and like a little John boat with like a tiny little pull motor too. You could like kind of cruise like a 2 horsepower motor. And then they also had four-wheelers, and we would go around, and dude, all these memories are flooding back to me. I don't even know which ones to share, man. There's a couple that I need to though. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's my rundown, my setup of this awesome place. And like I said, it was beautiful in its own right. But it's like whenever people ask me, well, what was your favorite place in Europe? I'm like, if I tell them Sweden, they're gonna want to go to Sweden, and they're not gonna have that experience. They're not gonna know
Yeah.
what I know. Like I tell most people Norway, which is we went to Norway. Really, that was the most beautiful place. We that was like a weekend trip where someone did book the place, so we we all hopped in a car. That was another thing. Barb's aunt rented us a car for like a month, like a BMW electric car with like 400-mile range on an electric car. I think it was insane. But yeah, man, I've got so many memories that are popping up. Anything else you want to add to the beauty of this place, Ken, or just like the whole
Dude,
setup?
no, you're great at setting the scene. I can obviously I can envision it, but I'm sure Abe and the rest of everyone can kind of get a good visual. I couldn't have done that, but yeah,
I'm
man,
there. I feel like I'm there right now.
Dude, yeah, it was
incredible, and we could probably do a whole 4-hour episode on just talking about Sweden, and probably another 4 about Europe. But yeah,
no doubt.
it
Yeah.
was incredible.
I'll share one quick story. So we hop on these four-wheelers, and they were Pear is telling us where to go and what to do, and he's like, "All right, you're gonna round the corner, and it's like whenever you see this tree, you're gonna go that way, and this is gonna bring you to this giant, um, I don't know what he called it, like a pit or something, but it's like it was basically like where they had. There's a bunch of rocks, and it's like all flat, and there's like a giant like rock, like wall that's kind of up on the edge. What did he call that? I
I
know
think it's a quarry.
quarry. Yeah, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's like this like little rock quarry, and he was like, if you want to go play on the four wheelers, that's where you do it. I'm like, sweet. So he literally tells us this is where we need to go, and me and Cannon we're like, dude, let's go have fun. And at this point, our big Italian friend is there too. His name is Alberto. He came and joined us. He was the left tackle for the ELF, that top team Raiders. So he's there too, and we're all riding these four wheelers and just doing donuts and just. I mean, we're tearing this quarry up, man. We're having a great time. And there was only two four wheelers, and it's kind of hard to really go crazy whenever it's two people on it. So I was sitting like up on the ledge of this quarry, not the ledge, but like up on like the incline of it, so I could see everything that's happening. And someone pulls in their truck, and they pull their car in, and this guy, and then I kind of walk down the quarry, and Alberto pulls up next to me, so I'm standing next to his four wheeler. We're both looking, and the four wheeler's kind of idling, so we can't hear anything. And this old rough looking dude is talking to Cannon, and it looks kind of civil, and then it starts to get where they're really close to each other. This guy is obviously like yelling at Cannon, and then he's like reaching for the keys on the four wheeler, and we're both like, oh my gosh. So we're like, I'm like, dude, let's go over there. So like we try to get on the four wheeler and go that way, and by the time we get there, the guy is leaving. And we're like, what just happened? And Ken's like, dude, and Cam, I'll let you take over now.
I don't even you remember things so much better than I do. But yeah, the dude basically comes up. He's like, I've been replanting these trees for years. Like, and you guys always come in here and tear them up. Or sorry, let me backtrack. I stop. I'm like, okay, this dude wants to talk. Like he literally almost hits me in the truck. He peels in, kind of drifts and comes to a stop, throws his car, comes out of his car and starts yelling at me in Swedish. And so I'm just sitting there. He's just ripping into me, spitting in my face. I'm like, just listening, just taking it. And after probably a good 90 seconds, good minute and a half, I go, do you speak English?
Oh, no way.
And he just like yelled at me, like just didn't say anything, just and then it goes into laying into me about these are his trees. He's been replanting this for years, and you need to pay him for all this. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I just got here. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't know. I'm sorry. And he's like, well, I need money. And I'm like, I don't have my wallet on me. He's like, well, give me your ID. And I was like, I don't have my wallet. And he's like, okay. And so he reaches for the keys. Like, and I just got here. I think it's our first or second day in Sweden. I don't even know how these people are related to Kason at this point. I'm just like, it's Barb, some relative of Barb's. They gave me a four-wheeler. They said, go right here. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a blast. I'll do it. So he's reaching for the keys, and I'm like, whoa, like I am not going to get the keys stolen to a thing that it's not even mine to lose. So yeah, I basically grabbed his arm, twisted it, and took the keys back out of his hand, and that didn't make him happy. And he reared up to punch me, and I was like, yeah, go for it, buddy. Like, he's probably a 5'3" dude,
He's tiny.
and he's older, and like he has this like 13-year-old kid in the car, and I'm like, dude, you don't know who's behind me, who's like showing up to the scene. This is not a good. You don't win this one, and eventually he just leaves or like just fumes at me. I think he might let out another dinosaur roar and just gets in the truck and tells me to leave and never come back. Or what was it that we always repeated? It
What did he
was
say,
something like
dude?
that. Get
I think
out
it
and
was.
never fucking come back or something.
That's
Like
what it was.
it's just like, all right, noted. And so
Oh
yeah,
man.
we head back on, he's following us for the next I tell Kason like, hey, we should get out of here. So we head out, and then he's following us for probably, I don't know, 2 miles or something, like a good 20 minutes. And it gets to the point where we're like, I'm just like, I'm gonna go as slow as I possibly can and waste as much time as he can, and eventually, hopefully, he'll just like give up or something. So I'm going like 4 miles an hour, looking in the mirror, still there, looking in the mirror, still there, and then eventually he pulls off, and then we finally take off and try to get back before he realizes where we're staying, because we didn't want to cause a ruckus for the people living there, and um, didn't want it traced back to them. So yeah, that was a good one. I couldn't have loaded it up like you did, but
Oh
anything
man.
else to add?
No, dude. The only thing that I'll add that was hilarious. I think it was Alyssa that said it, but we get back to the place and we tell that story. She goes, "So basically, he's the Lorax." 'Cause he like literally like was like he looked like that too. Oh, it was hilarious, and he was speaking for the trees, man. Oh, that was so funny, dude. That was so crazy. And then the guy Pear, he like so he knows everyone. Like it's a really small community, so he's like, "What did he look like?" And he's doing this, and apparently, like everyone's first name there is Lars. So he's like going through like, is it Lars blank? I can't even think of last names, but the guy that he ended up landing on was Lars Ruse, which is the guy's name. And then from that point forward, we called that giant quarry Lars Ruse Arena. Yes, we talked about throwing a big concert there. It was like this whole stupid, funny inside joke, but man, it was. Gosh, that was one of the funniest but craziest things that happened, and so early in our time there, and we really, me and Alberto thought it was a friendly conversation, because, like I said, Cannon just let that guy go for so long. I forgot that was why he was like, why it looked so calm for so long, and then he was like, "Do you speak English?" And then that's whenever we saw things ramping up. We are like, "Oh, we need to get over there. That's a fight some old man, dude." Oh my gosh, yeah, that was crazy, and. Yeah, there was a lot of fun stories. One of the coolest moments of my entire life was one late night. Cannon and I or all of us were in the wood fired hot tub, and this like real like thick but like low fog was on that lake, and we were like, dude, we should go paddleboard out there, and it's like middle of the night, full moon, clear sky, thick fog on that water. Me and him go out there, stand up paddleboarding on this water. It was like one of the I can visualize it perfectly. It was like that was one of the coolest moments of my life. I don't know why it was so dope, but it was just like it just
Yeah,
felt like something
all
off a
we
movie.
could see was just silhouettes through the fog, and it was
Yeah.
just crystal or perfectly smooth water, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was like you're on the edge of the earth. I couldn't explain it any better than that.
yeah.
It was
It's freaking
incredible.
sick, man. Freaking sick. Yeah, we can close the book on Sweden there. Also, I beat Cannon in darts the last time that we played there, so that's cool too. No, I'm kidding. You probably beat me, but played a lot of darts. I got a lot better at darts there, but yeah. That was a good time, man. It was a lot of fun stuff. There was a lot of fun weekend trips that we made too. We went one time. We went to that was still Norway, but it was the Black Sea, I think is what that one was, and that's whenever we saw a bunch of crabs. That was whenever I alluded that whenever I mentioned that there was some other crab stories, but that was fun. And then it was real quick story from that one. There's like this like diving platform, like this like thing that you could like a diving board deal that we could jump off of, and we're having a good time jumping in, and then all of a sudden we're like, there's a bunch of those jellyfish? And there's like jellyfish all over the place there. And we knew that the first night. And then the second night, we kind of forgot for some reason. And there's like this little island out in like we're on the shore and there's like an island out there. We're like, dude, we should like swim out to that island. We're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And we swim out to this island and like we're like halfway there. And Cannon's like, dude, I kind of forgot about the jellyfish. I'm like, oh crap, bro, me too. So me and him were both like, that was I've never like stayed because like they were like the water's real black and it was hard to see through like what your feet were next to. So like I was using my abs to stay like if this is the level of the water, usually you're kind of swimming like that. I mean, I was really trying to stay flat with the water, activating my abs the whole time. We get down there and then the girls yell back to us. They're like, there's thousands of jellyfish between us and y'all. We're like, are you freaking kidding me? But we just had to thug it out. We didn't get stung by any jellyfish, but they took a video of this one. It looked like a freaking Volkswagen Beetle coming out of the depths of the ocean. It was humongous, right where we swam too. I'm like, dude, we could have got. Yeah, I get anxiety thinking about that, man. That was
It was the biggest jellyfish I've ever seen. I don't know about a Volkswagen Beetle, but
yeah, that's pretty big. It was probably
half the size
this
of that.
is a great example.
You're almost better off like not.
Yeah, that's perfect. Actually,
that's literally the exact size of what this thing was.
Yeah, it was exactly that big. It was incredible.
You're almost better at like to get halfway like swimming and then like just to remember like, hey, like there's jellyfish out here. Like you're almost way better off not bringing it up at all.
All right.
Like if I was,
that's my bad.
Out there, like I'd be like, dude, I don't know if you remember the jellyfish, but I can't remind him about it right now because, man, that would stress me out.
It was more of a, oh, do you remember the jellyfish? And it was never a thought of let's turn around. It was a how do we cope with this? And so that was our strategy: get as high as we could and try to peek over the water and see 2 or 3 feet in front of us so that we could move and weave in and out of them.
Swimming like this, keep an arm in front of me just in case I can give you something there.
Try not to get your neck and face.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was terrifying. Oh man.
I think we'll have Kason on plenty of times, and so let's go into more present day. You had all this time. Football had been your whole life essentially. You obviously not. You were married to Barb. You're very close. You have very close friends elsewhere and all that. But football had been a big part of your life. Even you introducing yourself. You talked about you're a baby, and then you immediately went into high school football. So
that's true.
Football is a huge part of your life. You played for however old you are. Now you're back in the U.S. You're done with football. How has the come down or the come up? How has the difference been for you? Settling into you have a house, you have a baby on the way. How has that been for you?
Man, it's been it was exciting for like a month, and then it sucks, dude. It's like why did I choose this? It's like I have the job that I went to college for. I went to college to do video editing. Like that's what I wanted to do, and like that was my focus. I did media arts with a focus in Adobe Premiere video editing, and that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm literally doing what I planned to do, and after that first month, it was like this is not the right word. It wasn't depression. I don't think I've ever really been depressed. But it was just this, I don't know, man, felt a little empty. And I think the biggest part of it was the first time that I wasn't surrounded by like 100 other men that I could just go and hang out with. I was in a new city, and I say city, it's like a town. I was in a new town. I'm still far from my family. They're like 6 hours away. So it's not like I get to hang out with them and kind of fill that void a little bit. But it was like, man, I don't have a team of guys. I don't have, and then I don't have a goal that I'm working towards. It's like what am I? Why? Like I'm working for what? Like why am I trying to make money in the first place? I got back and I bought a car or a truck. I bought a truck. And got this job that I really wanted, and got on salary. My wife got the job she wanted, got on salary, And since we were W-2 salaried, we're like, dang, we could qualify and buy a house. Is that something we want to do? If we do that, then I'm not gonna play football. So we like, and I'll just get into this area of my life as well. I'm a very spiritual guy, and I prayed about it a lot. I'm like, I don't know, like I just wanted to feel some peace. Whether you're spiritual or not, you know what it's like to have the unrest in your heart of like, man, what's next? And do I commit to something this big? Like this is going to be huge, and it kind of sets the course for my life. And I felt peace about it, so I did it. And then like a month later, I'm like, was that peace or was that ambitious selfishness, wanting to own a house and wanting to get out of and if my wife's family is listening to this, I love y'all, but I didn't want to live there anymore. Like I was living with my wife's family and I love them a ton. We have a great relationship, but I want to be in a place with my wife and it's just us. So it's like, I don't know, there was just a lot of stuff. But all that to say, I mentioned I'm a spiritual guy. I think I was really longing for community, and I got plugged into a church and went to we had like a young married Bible study deal where we all met up with this other young married couples, and we started to get more plugged into this church and started to get more involved, and that came about meeting some new friends. I also got a work contract that I really wanted, working for this guy who's like, his family's awesome, and I met his son, got close with his son, and so his name's Braden, and his wife Ashley, got close with them, and then his little brother lives like right down the road from me, got super tight with them, so started making these friends, and then it started to feel more like home. That's whenever I really started to be like, all right, like I and I was also putting way too much worth on my job, where I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but it's like you make your job your identity, because football was my identity for so long. Like I was, just like Cannon said, my whole story. Tell me about yourself. I played football, and then I played football, and then after football we traveled, and that's what it's been so far. And it's been, I don't even know how long this thing's been going, but that's what I've talked about this whole time. It was such a big part of my life, and then it's just gone. And I want to fill that void with something else, so I take my job and I try to say, okay, now this is my passion. This is what I'm going to do, and I try to fill that hole in my heart with just trying to do this job. And I'm at the bottom of the food chain in this, mortgage tech company that I was working for. And I just felt, dude, a lot of, worthlessness, a lot of just like, just being transparent, just wasn't happy, um, wasn't excited about it like I was in the very beginning. And then, just to give y'all my personal experience of like how I found my answer. And like I said, I know not everyone's spiritual, not everyone believes what I believe, but just for myself, and this is what I believe. I finally filled that hole with a relationship with Christ and with other believers and other people. So it's just like I stopped trying to fill it with stuff that I can do myself, and I started filling it with serving others, having community with others, and like deepening my relationship with Christ, and just trying to be more like Him. Because wherever you stand with beliefs and stuff, I truly believe Jesus is just a great example to try to emulate your life after. And because he's just a solid leader. I mean, he took 12 guys, and I'm talking about him 2020 years later. So it's like, I don't know. That's a long rundown of where I was and where I'm at now, but I finally have surrounded myself with just a bunch of awesome people. I've got some new friends. Like I've gotten a couple notifications on my phone of I'm playing pickleball tomorrow morning with my pastor and four other guys. And man, I'll also say this: my pastor is kicking my butt in pickleball right now. So if future me is watching this, I hope you've won by now, dude. You can't keep losing to this guy, man. Golly. He's like late 40s, man, and he's just crushing me, dude. He's from Bolivia. He's like almost a professional soccer player. So he's like, he's kind of got that
He's got
going
some
for him. But
twitch.
yeah, if you look at him though, dude, he's nothing. It's nothing, man. And I'd say that to his face, but he would just come right back at me and tell me that I suck at pickleball. Anyways, what do y'all think about that? Did y'all experience that too, where, and like Abe, like you said, we don't know each other super well, but just I know Cannon and I have a similar, football, and now you're grown and you're working, and then Abe, I don't know what that was for you in your life. Have you had if you've had something that you were just kind of felt like that was your identity, and then it's gone, and now you're trying to fill it with other stuff. Like, what worked for y'all? Like, or are y'all still in that mode of like, crap, man, I kind of don't feel like I've filled anything. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of catch me up with y'all's thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. I think so many people, and maybe I'm right there with you in a sense where, it was golf, played in college, for 5 years. And then like that's kind of to say it's your whole life. It's, there's 24 hours in a day. I'm not golfing like 24 hours in a day, but like it's so easy for it to make it feel like it's your life and an identity. And I would say like 80% of people that knew me growing up was like, oh, like that's Abe the golfer. Like he got like, so like it's just natural, right? Especially like in high school and college. And then, you get like, yeah, you get this job and it's like, it's, oh, like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I work insurance. Like, it's such a like negative thing to say. And like, it's easy to look at it in a negative way. And I think, and that's why, like, I remember talking about like in Europe with Canon, like in numerous times. And like, I think like a general thing that they do over there is when someone like asks you like, hey, what do you do? I don't think Europeans say their jobs. Like it's like, hey, like, I like mountain bike, or I do this or do that and whatever. But like here in the US, it's so job, like professional driven, where it's all about getting to the next step. And like, I don't know, like, I just don't think about that. Like, I don't think about like trying to get to the next step of whether it's corporate America or the next job or like getting a promotion. Like, yeah, promotion would be great. Like, by all means, a job would be nice now. But like when you are in a job, like getting a promotion, it's a good thing. But like, man, like so many people are so focused about it that becomes your identity. And like, I mean, if we're comparing an identity, I don't think football or a job or anything like that should be your identity. But think about how much cooler football or golf sounds compared to like an analyst. like it's like, oh man, like, dude, we were living the dream back in the day. But so yeah, like, so and I think you nailed it. Like, you just gotta find your community. I think as dudes hanging out with other dudes, like I don't know a bunch of dudes that like hate hanging out with a bunch of other dudes. Like I crave, guy time and hanging out with a bunch of dudes and talking about whatever. And so yeah, it's like you just got to find that community. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move back to Arizona. It's like, man, like, I kind of just miss the things, the activities, the places, and all the little things that made that community, and it's truly applaud the people that go to other places and build their own community, because it's not easy. And I think everyone that's moved from their hometown to somewhere else, it could be an hour away or a day away, but have gone through something like you and I have gone through, and that search for community, it's so important. And yeah, like no one tells you about it. Like no one, like it's not talked about unless it's like things like this. But I wasn't warned about it. I'm not sure if you were warned about it, but like, I don't want to say it's an epidemic, but like a lot of people go through this where it's not like it in that sense, it feels good, where it's like, okay, like I'm exactly where I should be and I need to, get to there. Right. And so, yeah, but I think it's so important. Doing stuff, surrounding stuff that fills you up, fills your cup, that you enjoy. And, I'm a big believer in the people that you hang out with is a direct reflection of who you are. And so you got to find that. And don't go lightly on it. Certainly lean into that and find the people that you want to hang out with. So Kenton, you got anything on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like you said, just looking to fill the void. For me personally, I kind of dove into finances. I wanted to get into reffing. I thought maybe that would fill the void. Also got into like fitness and like going to the gym and trying to do it that way. And none of it really builds that community like you were saying that we were um, you know so accustomed to having while we were in college or in high school or with the rest of the life. And to add on that, Abe moved to Georgia. I moved to Washington, and sounds like you've even moved to a different town as well to kind of amplify that, right? We didn't take many people with us, other than maybe a significant other here, or have a friend here or there. But
Yeah.
definitely look into like a church is a great way to build a community, right? You go into the same place every day, or not every day, but every week at the same time. You're gonna see the same people, gonna cross paths multiple times, and I think that's just a big builder for building
Yeah.
friends and all that. Like, just you got to cross paths a few times to open somebody like me up. Like you're
Yeah.
Kason Martin, you're gonna be open right away, but I'm who I am, and I'm not gonna make friends in the first 5 times I meet people, which whether that's good or bad, that's just kind of how I'm wired.
Yeah.
So I think starting this podcast was a big thing for filling that void, right? We wanted to not only have a project to pursue, and like you were saying, football, we always had a goal in mind, somewhere we wanted to be. And I don't know if Abe and I have really defined what the goal of this podcast is, other than just catching up with people we want to stay in contact with, and having those connections stay strong, even though we might be far away, or in different places. Some of us might be having kids, some of us might be breaking up with their significant others and moving 1,300 miles across the U.S., or whatever it is. And that's not me, Kason. It's someone else. But
Good, that scared me now. I'm joking.
Yeah. So we're looking to fill that void, and I'm sure we'll all find things along the way that'll help fill that. But it's definitely a learning curve, and it's part of the fun in life. Is we're at those stages in life where we can take a lot of different paths and go a lot of different ways, and there's no wrong answers at the end of the day. It's just which one you want to pursue and put your time towards doing. And so yeah, super excited to have you guys in my corner, and continue to build these relationships.
Likewise, brother. Likewise, man.
Absolutely. Kason, you kind of mentioned it with goals and stuff, man. Like, do you have any goals? It could be about anything. Like right now that you're kind of pursuing, have you made anything like that, or have you stayed away from goals? You're like, I don't need those things.
I haven't written stuff down, but I've definitely got a lot of ambitions. Well, first of all, I want to be a good dad. I've got a son on the way, but that kind of involves being a better provider for my family. I would like to get to a point where Barb wouldn't have to work. She doesn't have to, but to continue our lifestyle the way we do. We still travel. We have coffee like a lot. I have a coffee machine that's helped get it down. But just like little things like that, I don't know. It's like she won't work whenever the baby first comes. But yeah, well, I would like to get to where we could continue the lifestyle that we have, and then she also wouldn't have to work, because right now we could definitely make it work. We'd have to sacrifice quite a bit of luxuries that we use right now, whether that's going out to eat pretty often, not really having I never really, like, we need to make a better budget, that's for sure. We don't really follow a budget, which is kind of a plus of both of us working. We have our things that we need to do, but I guess a goal, I'll just stop running my mouth, but a goal, like an actual feasible goal, would just to be, I kind of want to, I'm a partial owner of a business currently, but I think I would like to start my own, and I would like to, I'm getting my drone license soon, and I think I'm going to chase that route a little bit of doing something with drones, possibly have my own media company, or have more of a percentage of the media company that I'm a part of right now, because everything's good with my business partner, but I've got like 10% right now. I'm like, I don't know what that would look like to get more of that, and yeah, that's one business goal. Is just to I hope to look back at this, one year, 2 years, hopefully, yeah, 2 years would be, where I could just say like, man, I'm making, which life's not about making a bunch of money. I genuinely think life's about your family. Life's about making enough money to be able to spend time with your family. If you prioritize making too much money, and then you look back on your life and you say, dang, I sure did make a lot of money, but what about my memories with my kid? You know what I mean? So it's like I want to have
Absolutely.
that's a goal that I have, is like I want to be ambitious enough and provide enough for my family, but do it in a way where I have maximum time to make those memories with them. So that's kind of like um, my business goal there. And then as far as like life goals, got to get better at my latte art. It's not where I want it to be right now, man. It's inconsistent. It's thin. It's thick. It's like, come on, Kason, lock in, figure out how to make that better. So, but yeah, no, I'm joking. But that's genuinely, I really every day I put a little bit too much worth in that. When I'm like, okay, I'm make a freaking thing. If I do it good, it's like, I'll have a great day. It's gonna be the best day ever. Oh man. But
You
yeah,
you need to start recording your latte art so that you can have basically like a time capsule of like, hey, like you
Yeah.
know,
How
like
about
this
you?
is how
You send us the one you make tomorrow. We'll
yeah.
we'll put it on here, and then the next time you come on, you can put the most recent one, and we can compare, and we can have
gosh,
a timeline of how your latte art has come, and
that's perfect.
some timestamps.
That's a
We're
phenomenal
we're gonna
idea.
hang your coffee art in the Louvre. Like it's gonna be that good. Like
That's
we're
gonna be
we're
so
gonna get
good.
there.
That's me so good. Yeah, that's definitely what I will do that. I'm gonna send y'all a picture of that tomorrow. But
Perfect.
I'm excited.
um
I'm excited for it right now.
yeah, I mean I might go rip one real quick just to practice.
Sounds like you've been ripping them all night.
Oh dude, I'm wired. I actually I was on French press today, so I didn't have much latte art to do.
How many cups of coffee do you drink in a day?
Oh brother, it just depends on the day. But
Really?
today was I made a French press and I drank almost the whole thing. Oh gosh, Barb just heard me say that. I'm dead, boys.
All right,
Nah,
Tim
it was,
Kason.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna
Is that one
keep
of those
you.
freaking hooks just pull me out of here? Oh
Watch out!
man,
Watch out!
nah.
Watch out!
Yeah.
That's so good. Kason, you're one of our only friends. I'm gonna call you friend because I did meet you one time, but you're one of our only friends that is expecting a child soon. We have a couple friends that have babies, that have children. We have a lot of friends that don't have any babies. What's going through your mind? Because I've never thought about it. I don't think Hannah's thought about it, but like, what's going on in Kason's mind right now? Because I can only imagine, like, when I get to that stage, like, what's gonna be that hamster wheel gonna be cranking at right now?
So I'll take it through the stages of my
Yeah.
excuse me, stages of my hamster wheel. In the very beginning, just like pure excitement, just like unbelievable excitement. And then immediately after the excitement, overwhelming, like, okay, what now? Like, what do I need to do? What does this mean? Like, and just like overwhelmed with every thought you could possibly have. And just like thinking about, like I said, providing, but then also like my house, is it big enough? Where is the baby gonna go? Random stuff like, health with my wife, like thinking about what I need to do for that. And then like I just all sorts of thoughts. That was very beginning. Biggest ones were I don't have any experience with babies. Like I was the youngest of my family. All my cousins, no one really has babies yet. I mean, a couple of them do now, but I'm not really close to them. Like I was never growing up. Like my wife grew up and she was a babysitter, so she's great with babies, great with kids. I know I'm good with kids because I'm super childish and I can just have fun. Like I can just act like them and just like have a great time. But like as far as like holding a baby. My brother's baby was the first and only baby I've ever held, like a true small baby. So it's like all of that. I was just feeling really unprepared, feeling really scared. And then this is big time, guys. This is a good life note for anyone. The best way to get rid of fear and anxiety is preparation and knowledge. Just like
To run from
learning.
it. You said the run from it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, you'll like bleep that right there. It'll be your voice saying "run away." No, but like genuinely, we're gonna do an all natural birth at a birthing center about an hour south of us. Which that's another little fear thing that I have as far as getting there on time and everything. But they've been super cool. So all natural means no interventions whatsoever. So no epidural, no inducing, no. There's nothing. There's no like. That's the plan. And that's what my wife wanted from the beginning, and I was more of like, why don't you want to be at a hospital? What if something goes wrong? And I have now been brainwashed into believing that this is the best way to do it. We go to a birthing class that's 2.5 hours once a week. And it's this doula that has been educating us on just the ins and outs of pregnancy and birth. And it's freaking nuts, y'all. It is so dang cool. Like, that's another thing about the hamster wheel. Like, dude, it is just so cool. It's just it's not comprehensible what's going on inside of her body right now. Putting my hand on her belly, feeling a creature moving in there. It's just like it's crazy. I just call my son a creature, but whatever.
Is that his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah, little creature Joe is what we're gonna call him. Now we're
Kason
not
Martin.
sharing we're not sharing the name yet. That'll be whenever he's born, but it does have something to do with a gun and rhymes with Slannon. No, I'm kidding. It's his name's not Cannon. Cannon was on the freaking baby list, dude, before I met you. And it's not like I don't want to name him Cannon because
Whatever,
I
man.
met you. It's just it's more of, if I name him that, like, he's gonna know you. He's be like, oh, this is the guy. Like, I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So yeah, I guess maybe the next one, because I always thought that'd be like the freaking best quarterback name, which you kind of proved that true. So yeah.
So,
Um,
so is the name fully decided? Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell us now because it's going to release after he's born. So, like, you wouldn't be. No, I'm just kidding.
That
But
is
have
true.
you decided-
Barb, can I tell them? She said no. Sorry, guys.
Okay, no,
Good.
I'm just don't worry
Good.
about it.
Please don't tell
I
us.
I would.
I don't know
I
what
would
I'd
love
do
to
with
give
that
a
info.
riddle, but I'm really bad at riddles.
But
Stump me, man.
the name's
That was
the name's
pathetic.
been the name's been decided, and before you even see it, because like there's some people will be like, oh, you just know when it comes out, and it's like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah,
they all
no
look the same when they come out. Like, there's no way they're like,
Facts.
oh, this one looks like Kason. Like, this is gonna be it.
Yeah.
But so it's been decided already.
Yeah. We had a long list, narrowed it down to like, I don't know. We just kind of said yes, no, and then all the ones that we both said yes on, we kind of narrowed it down to like 2, and then we just thought about it a lot, and then one of them we were just like, I freaking like that. That's a super cool name. Really, it's a really good name. It's I'll give you a little hint. It's kind of biblical, so it's not.
How can it kind of be perfect? I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna.
No,
go
Don't keep asking.
Whenever
I'm
it
not.
comes out, then you'll be
Don't
like,
tell
oh
me
yeah,
it's
that
Abe.
is.
Don't tell me it's Abe. That would throw
God,
me
that would
off.
be sick.
I would be
Well,
I'd
we
be a
gotta
little
change it
upset
again.
after this. You're saying,
Yeah,
oh,
no.
it's canon. And I'm sorry. If your name is Abe, I'll still love you the same, little Abe Martin.
No, that's so.
Um,
This is so.
Did you
it's
guys
so
have any
cool.
tricks? I've heard some people like go to a coffee shop and they'll ask for like their baby's name. Like, that's when they ask for a name, they use their baby's name just so they could hear it in public and kind of hear other people
Ah.
saying it out loud. Did you guys come up with any of those fancy tricks, or just
Oh.
you and Barb going back and forth?
It was just come back and forth, but that's a fun idea. I would like
He's
to.
gonna, he's gonna
I'd like
rip
to
that
hear it.
tomorrow at the coffee shop.
Thanks.
And can I do the art for that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let me come F that up real quick for you.
That's
Oh,
so
man.
good. I mean, how much? When is he expected?
December 23rd.
Okay, so do you have
Christmas baby.
I could be
Christmas
crazy.
baby.
Is his name going to be Jesus? So
Somewhat biblical, yeah.
so But no, so is everything ready? Like, do you have the crib, the baby room? Like, is there anything that's left in your to-do list before, a month from now, basically?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff on there. All of the really necessary stuff is done. Like we have everything we need except for a stroller. I've been and people might come at me for this, but I've been on Facebook Market looking pretty hard for that because the one that we want is like super expensive. I don't know how much it is new. I think it's like $1,300 or $1,500. But it's one that's tall enough for us. I'm like 6'3" and some change, and my wife's like 6'1", so we need a tall stroller, and they don't really make a bunch of them. And then also we want it to be like the fabric and stuff to be organic, or organic cotton, because nothing but the best for little baby Jesus, No. But yeah, man. That's really the only big like actual item, and then like a little baby bed. You need a little baby bed for like the mattress, because we have the crib and all sorts of stuff, but it's like a specific one that's like super breathable. Both those are pricey. The bed we're gonna buy new. We're just waiting for it to come on sale. Hopefully Black Friday gonna pop off on one of those. But yeah, man. As far as the house goes, the only thing that I need to do really bad. Oh, this is another thing that I'm doing right now. This is wild, y'all. I've been raising puppies. So we got a bunch of puppies right now. Doing that as like a little side hustle to get some more money. And this is litter number 3. So I've got 9 golden retriever puppies outside right now. Yeah, we have like a shed that I've converted to like a little kennel and then an outdoor kennel, and it's been testing me, y'all. I mean, these little puppies. I'm gonna say this for my future self, and I'll come back and fact check this. I genuinely think that raising these puppies is harder. It is harder than raising a newborn baby. Yeah.
That's a bold one.
I know that's a bold one, and I
don't think I would
wait to come back and say either I was so right or I was so wrong. There's no way that I'll be like, oh, it's pretty close. It'll be like a definite, because I've said that to a lot of people. That second litter, y'all, the mom was a demon. She was a horrible dog, and I'm sorry to my friend Colt, who he's the owner of this dog. She's a heck of a hunting dog, but oh my gosh, man, she killed almost. She didn't, but she almost killed a different puppy from another litter. I had 2 litters one time at the same time, a slight overlap, and the mom of one litter was walking by another one, and it freaking got it right on the head, and it was a horrible traumatic situation. But yeah, that puppy ended up being fine. Just had a concussion. Cannon knows about those, but I'm kidding. We all do. Yeah.
No, he knows. He knows about those.
Nice. But yeah, dude, that second litter, they're just pooping all the time, yelling, screaming, waking me up. Dude, I was waking up 3-4 times a night to feed and let these dogs out, because they were just horrible little dogs. I mean, I was getting like 1 to 2 hours of sleep, poop everywhere, and it's not one baby, it's freaking 8. And then I had 8 from another litter, so I had 16 puppies that are going nuts. The moms are crapping all over the place. They're rolling in. I'm having to wash a dog at 2 in the morning. It's got diarrhea on its back. Yeah. Come at me, future me. Remember how terrible it was, dude. It was so bad. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to drop that for myself, because dude, I've been going through it.
I don't think I would ever say something like that online, like documented, like recorded. But I do see where you're coming from on that.
16 is a lot.
Yeah.
On a positive side, your child could have like some of the cutest like newborn pics, because you could just drop him in like 8 golden like puppies, like
yeah, they'll be gone.
Baby.
They'll be gone whenever he gets here. They're the last date is December 6th. That's whenever this litter goes home. So I mean, unless he comes earlier. So I don't want to speak nothing into existence there. But yeah, he should be here after they're gone. That's what's wild about pregnancy, that you got to prepare your mind for. Our very first meeting with our lady, I'm interested to see. December 23rd is when we're supposed to come. They say 4% of babies come on their expected due date. 4%. So what our doula had us do is you subtract 14 days from your due date, and you write that date, and then you add 3 weeks to it on the back end, and then you write that date, and they say 99% chance it comes between these dates, and that's what you need to get your head around. I'm like, that's stupid. A 5-week window, that's a month freaking window, dude. But yeah, if you can wrap your mind around that, it helps you, because a lot of moms, first-time moms especially, go past their due date, so they hit their whole pregnancy, December 23rd, December 23rd, December 23rd.
Yeah.
They get to December 24th. And all of a sudden, their pregnancy becomes unbearably hard. They're like, "Get out of me! The rent's up, dude. Like, you can't be in there anymore." You know what I mean? Like, stop baking. You know, it's time to come out.
You're burnt.
Yeah, you're burnt. Yeah, that's what my brother's my brother's wife is. She's mixed. She's half black. My brother's obviously white, and their second baby. So their first baby came out a beautiful little caramel color. Their second one, he's like the whitest dude ever, man. He's just so white. And she's like, either I ran out of ink or he didn't bake long enough. Oh,
That's
it's so
great.
good, man. That is
That's
so
great.
good. Anyways, yep. So sorry, I was kind of rambled there for a while, but
No, thank you.
No,
Makes our job
so
easy.
many yeah,
current,
so
current
many things
haircut
that have-
too. I'd like to see my future self, see what I have later. I'd be trying to, or maybe I haven't had a haircut since this. 2 years from now, I might have massive flow. Who knows?
So good. No, there's so many things that go into having a child that I obviously don't know anything about, right? Because I'm not even close to there. But even holding a baby, we had a cousin. I don't know her exact age, but she's older than me. She was the first one in my generation to have a little baby girl, and 4th of July was the first time. I met her for the first time in May for a wedding. I got to hold her for the first time on 4th of July. Dude, I've never had a baby before, and that like if you told me, hey, if you're having a baby in like a month, I'd be like, dude, I've never even held a child before. Like, I'd be so stressed. Like, and everyone's like, hey, like, you want to hold her? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like.
No shot.
There's like 30 people watching you, like 60 eyes, just like, dude, don't drop her. Like, oh, she's so cute. I'm like, dude, I'd be stressed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so no, but you're gonna be fine. You'd be great. You can raise, 16 dogs. It's just one kid.
Right? Exactly. And only one of them almost died. Thanks, Kenneth.
He'll be a great dad. Excited to meet him.
Man, I'm excited for him to meet his Uncle Cannon. Yeah.
I think
Little Cannon Jr.
Are you putting him?
Yeah. Wait a minute. What does that mean?
I'll call him that.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Yeah, maybe not. You're right.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Edit that one out.
Yeah, no, don't leave it.
Yeah.
What go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you have anything you want to say to him? This is probably the last time you'll be in front of the camera before he's out and able to listen to what you're saying. I guess he could somewhat listen to what you're saying right now, but this will be documented and you can reflect on it. Anything you want to say to him before he's here?
Oh man, I guess I'll. I don't know. I can't wait to see who you're going to be. I can't wait to see the color of your eyes. What traits you take after me and your mom, and just your little personality. And who knows what age you're watching this at? Maybe you're grown at this point. I don't know. It's just crazy to think. But whoever you are, I'm just gonna be so proud of you. I don't know. I'm just super excited. The end. Bye.